one. This is 114. This is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. It's a special triangle. And I'm going to tell you, if you Google search 45, 45, 90, they're going to teach you a different way to handle this triangle. It's not going to be SOHCAHTOA. We're going to do SOHCAHTOA. Because there's like a million different tricks that you can learn, but then you'd have to memorize them all and take all that stuff and memorize into your test when SOHCAHTOA gets it all done. That's why it's so important and so powerful. All triangles on this objective are right isosceles. Like that one right there. It's right. It means that both angles are both going to be congruent. That means they have to be 45s. So both acute angles are 45s. If you see a right triangle and they tell you one of them is 45, like they don't tell you this one, well, you know the other one has to be 45 too. There's not a 90, 45, 35 triangle. 90, 45, 45. Now, because it's a special triangle, there are tricks. And when we get to the very end, after doing SOHCAHTOA on all these problems, I will show you the one trick on 45, 45, 90. If you are good at memorizing tricks, then memorize it and use it. If you don't want to memorize it, SOHCAHTOA always works. When in doubt, SOHCAHTOA. Here we go. First one up. Here's our triangle. It's stacked nice. It's set down on the ground. We've got this 45 where we're going to come from. Ones and halves. What I want, OH or A?
H.
H. I want the H. What do I have?
A.
A. So with the ones and halves on my SOHCAHTOA, I got a and an H. So what am I going to use?
Cosine.
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 Cosine. So I'm going to write cosine. I'm going to write COS. And what goes next to that cosine, if you remember from yesterday?
45.
Put the 45 there, and then equals, its cosine is A over H. So, what's our A?
9 over X.
9 over X. Now, X is on bottom right here. What is the trick that you're supposed to do when X is on
You
bottom?
swap.
Swap. When X is on bottom, you can circle these things and swap them. So you end up with X is 9 over cosine 45. And you can put that right into your calculator. 9 over cosine 45. 9 square root of 2, which that is answer B. Understand, if you need it as a decimal, what should you do? Toggle. Now, we don't need it as a decimal, but have that ability to know it's 12.7. All right, next one up. This was cosine. Next one up. I might write another SOHCAHTOA just as many times as possible. All right, ones and halves. This triangle is not stacked up right. It's kind of slanted or it fell over or something. But you're down here at this 45. Now, what you want is this. O, H, or A?
H.
Is H. You see that that is the hypotenuse, even though, like, this is the right, that's the hypotenuse.
Yeah.
So that's the H. What do we have?
A.
A. Once again, A and H, so we're going to use
Cosine.
cosine. So cosine 45 equals A over H. A being, and H being X. Again, X on bottom. What do? Swap. X on bottom, we swap. So we haven't learned anything different on the first two are the exact same problem, basically. Swap them. X is 3 over cosine 45. Somebody help me out. What does that calculate to?
3 square root of 2.
3 square root of 2. No need to toggle it, but you could if you wanted to. 3 square root of 2. Okay, once again, we'll save them. We'll save them for the end. All right, backside. Again, triangle where the hypotenuse is obviously flattened down on the ground. This is all kind of starting to look the same, but this one does work out a little different. What I have is a what?
H.
What I want is a
A.
A. And so this is an AH problem, so this is a cosine problem. Cosine 45 is A over H, X over 6. You see this time X on top? X over 6. So what do you do when the number's on bottom?
Cancel out.
Yeah, so basically multiply both sides by 6 and it cancels out. Multiply by 6, cancels out, and what goes in the calculator is 6 cosine 45. And that comes out to 3 square root of 2 again, doesn't it? 6 cosine 45. 3 square roots of 2. We'll slow down on this next one. All right, here's this, you don't have a triangle drawn, so you're working along, you're doing SOHCAHTOA, 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 and then a problem pops up with no triangle. So let's draw it. Triangle ABC, A is the right angle. So just draw a right triangle and call the right angle A. I'm going to put B up top. So I'm going to call this A. Nobody said it's a 45, 45, 90. So just draw a right triangle and go A, B, C, and A is right. Angle B is 45. Now you know it's a 45, 45, 90. This is 45. AB is 28. And BC is what you want. So BC is X. And unfortunately, for the 4th straight example, we are going to use what trig function? Cosine. You have an A, you want an H. So this whole notes was all cosine just by chance. You will see all of them by the time we get done with the next one though. A and H, it's cosine again. Let's just see how the fraction works out. I'm going to say cosine 45, 28 over X, A over H. And since the X is on bottom, we will swap. X equals 28 over cosine 45. And what are we getting here? 28 square roots of 2?
Yeah.
28 square roots of 2 as it is. Alright, we just whizzed through 4 examples. Now let me tell you the one little trick on 45, 45, 90s. This only works if you know you're looking at a right triangle that's 45, 45, 90. But the trick is, if you have the leg and you want the hypotenuse, you just got to multiply the leg by square root of 2. If you have the hypotenuse and you want the leg, you divide by square root of 2. So we're just going to quickly go back through the 4 examples.
All 4 of them?
Quickly, we just want to look at them, and I want to show you how easy it is if you know this trick. And if you don't know the trick, just do SOHCAHTOA. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. All right, first one up. We had the leg was 9. You just multiply 9 by square root of 2 to get the hypotenuse. What did we say our answer was?
9 square root of 2.
9 square root of 2. It's not easy. If this is 9, that's 9 square root of 2. Done. That's called a trick. The next one up. This is the leg we have. We want the hypotenuse. Take the leg and multiply by square root of 2. What was our hypotenuse answer?
3 square root of 2.
3 square root of 2. If we got the leg as 3, you multiply by square root of 2.
Whoa, whoa.
Now this one's backwards because you have the hypotenuse. So if you have the hypotenuse, what are you supposed to do?
Divide.
Divide. So 6 divide by square root of 2. I'm going to throw that in the calculator. 6 divide by square root of 2. That's 3 square root of 2. So if you have the leg and you want the hypotenuse, multiply by square root of 2. Have the hypotenuse, want the leg. Divide by square root of 2. And on this last one, we had the leg, 28. You want the hypotenuse, 28 square root of 2. So that's a quick trick. If you're doing 45, 45, 90s, that works. If you don't remember the trick, you're not confident, do SOHCAHTOA and make sure that you get it right.